Oh my stars! It's time for another Chubs Gone Wild. This is episode 480, recorded on February 6, 2023. It's 59 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild studios, where it is 8 days till Halloween. No, that is not correct. It is 8 days till Valentine's Day. Might as well be Halloween. 267 days till Halloween and 321 days until Christmas. Oh, I love Christmas.
The only
Anyway,
good thing about Christmas is at the end of the month uh, of December, we can start the Kathy Bacon birthday quarter.
that might, we'll have to keep that in mind for next year. Yes. For right now, it'll be like the Kathy Bacon 12th because it'll last a month. Anyway, hello, welcome to Chubs Gone Wild. Oh wait, we did that. It is time to. Tomorrow is the announcement. Well, the announcement. The last. Well, today would be the last day to submit, and tomorrow we're picking our Chubby Valentine winner contest winner. We have 4 entries. I wonder which one will win.
Me,
Oh, you can't enter. No employees enter.
well, I've never been much of a top, but
uh, well, no judgment.
I'm lazy. I can't help it.
Well, that's one of the things that's great about being a top. You can just lay there and let them do all the work.
Well, see, that's not the way it works with everybody else.
That no, I understand that.
It's not fair. I'll tell you that much.
Well, let's talk about Patreon real quick. Patreon
Oh, yeah.
offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like My Life in Fragments, podcasts, books, videos, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, Digis, Sage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt to see how you can become a member of the special forces of the chubby world for as little as $1 a month. And that reminds me, all listeners, starting on February 14th and lasting for 5 days, you can go pick up a Kindle version of Last Romance for free on Amazon.
Now, isn't the Last Romance? Isn't that the book version of Spoiler Alert?
Book version, spoiler alert.
The movie with Sheldon.
It's funny that you said that. I don't know because I don't know anything about the movie other than I was told that I should watch it. And Michael Sage said that it was heartbreaking, but that he cried more uh, at Last Romance. So I guess the guy died. One of them dies at the end. Okay, so I guess that's a spoiler alert. Okay, interesting. Well, I'll have to go
I know it was
out
so
and
weird
see if they
because
stole my story.
I know I'm sitting there going, wait, it's a romance about a guy who gets in a relationship and immediately finds out that he's in a relationship with a guy who's dying. Oh,
Hmm.
but his mother's Sally Field. Okay, all right, it works for me. Wait a minute, that's so familiar. Um,
Well, all good stories get stolen. I still say that how an abused housewife killed her cheating husband and married the man of her dreams would make a fabulous women's empowerment story, and a gory one too, because she basically cuts up his body and puts it down on disposal. It'd be fun. A little light humor.
Farrah Fawcett just
Burn
um
the bed.
uh, yeah, well, folded him up in a burning bed and lit it.
Yeah. Well, you got to do what you got to do. All right. On February 6th, a little history lesson here. February 6th, 1952, after a long illness, King George IV of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland dies in his sleep at the royal estate in Sandringham. And that is when Princess Elizabeth, the older of the king's 2 daughters and next in line to succeed him, was in Kenya at the time of her father's death, and she was officially crowned Queen Elizabeth II on June 2nd, 1953, at the age of 27. And we all know how that turned out. So,
Well, and I thought it's kind of shitty because she took over the job right away.
mm,
But it was a year and a half before she was actually crowned.
yeah, coronated.
And they actually, still to this date, they count the June 2nd as being her anniversary,
Hmm.
not, the February date, which technically is when it is passed on to the next living heir.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
um, I
yeah.
mean, for that, I just think she got rooked out of a year and a half of probably retirement pay, but that's okay. Sorry, she went
Well,
long enough.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, coronation stuff. We still haven't had Charles's coronation, have we?
No, no, it's I think it's coming up in like April.
Yeah, I don't know. Eh, I'm sure he'll be fine. Whatever. Anyway, moving on from that, I miss Elizabeth actually. So it's kind of funny how, like, I was totally into the monarchy and all that stuff, for all their flaws. I just thought it was neat. And then once she died, I just kind of like, eh, except for Harry. I kind of don't care now.
Well, it has been a situation with the monarchy for years, probably since the 60s,
Hmm.
where people have been, a lot of people have been saying, why do we need a monarchy?
Right. Yeah. In fact, they actually had a vote at one point whether to keep it or not. And which, I mean, if you saw The Crown, or was it in The Crown?
I
I think
don't
it was The
remember
Crown.
that being in the crown, but you know what? I didn't get I don't know how far I actually got. I didn't get, let's say I didn't watch the entire series. So
Really?
yeah.
I
Well,
was
they were long
surprised.
and boring
Well, that's the
episodes.
thing is that I
And it
thought
was
The Crown.
cold. It always looked really cold.
Oh
So,
yes, yeah,
you know,
I get that.
even
Uh,
here's the fucking Queen of England, and she looked like that room was fucking cold.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, the last one, the last season, there were episodes that were hard for me to get through.
Is it
Mostly
because of
because
Amanda, no, not Imelda Stanton?
funny, but no, actually, she did a very good job. I
Well,
was really surprised that she
she's a
did a
fantastic
great
actress,
job.
but she made the grave mistake of playing the most evil person ever written into a movie.
Yep, yeah,
Sorry, but
she'll always be that
that will
character.
haunt her until the day she dies, which, in some people's eyes is a great. I'm sure that um Mrs. God, what's her name?
Doubtfire.
No, the the one who played the really bad one in Harry Potter, who's married to the used to be married to the director of uh Christmas, you know, what's this? What's this?
Oh, yes, yes.
Right.
Helena Boxham Carter.
Helena Bonham Carter. That's right.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Well, she's probably like, this is bullshit. I played the evil character. I'm the one that killed the kid. I'm the one that killed, what's his
Sirius
name?
Black.
Well, I didn't kill the parents, but I fucked them up forever. I'm the
The
one that did that.
Longbottoms.
She just
Yeah.
comes in and there's little scratches on the back of their hand, and she's the worst character ever. Because I mean, I think for Helena Bonham Carter, she would be rejoicing in being the evilest character ever written into it.
Yes. 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 Um, whenever I think for boxing, Helena is the only. It just I can't stop thinking of her in that role, and it was such a horrible movie for me. For me. Anyway, today's affirmation. I love life. I am so glad to be alive.
Okay,
Can't argue with that.
she's not in that movie, Boxing Helena.
Oh, she isn't? Well, what the hell? The one where they cut off her arms and legs and kept her under the bed. What was her name? What was that name?
Well, that Cheryl Lee Finn was the one who played Helena in
Oh,
the movie. and it was Julian Sands, who now is dead.
Did they find out for sure?
Well, no, but he's been lost in the mountains for 2 weeks.
Well, he could have been kidnapped or something. You never know. They might find him at some point. Poor guy. It's just that's insane. That's just crazy. Um, what I was saying about The Crown though was that it was so hard to get through the last season because of all the stuff with the Diana and Charles thing, and it just I'm so and they drew it out. So
Well,
anyway,
I mean, because it's the most interesting thing
it,
that's happened in the monarchy since, well, basically Elizabeth taking the throne.
yeah, it is. And it certainly has been talked about and drug out and done in every movie and book and everything else to the point where it's like, how many movies came out like just last year about Diana?
I don't know how many.
And it's always just some forlorn person acting, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. Holidays. Oh, we've got some holidays. We might have celebrated something today and not even known it. Let's see. Today is the day of zero tolerance to female genital mutilation. I celebrated that because I
I
have
do
no
too,
tolerance for
but
it.
I'd say tolerance to female genitalia.
I'm not even going to respond.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Sorry, Kathy. Tom's that guy.
I just don't want her
Stop.
paraphernalia. Come on.
Stop.
What about?
Stop. It's also
Yeah.
Lame Duck Day.
Oh,
We
okay.
celebrated that. Uh,
Yeah.
National Frozen Yogurt Day. That sounds good. Pay a compliment day. Tom, your hat looks very nice.
No, it doesn't, you
There.
dick.
Oh, it is. It is. Pay
Oh,
a
I'm sorry. I
compliment
thought you
day.
was rejecting a compliment day. Okay.
No, see, you celebrated wrong.
I
You're like
did.
those Valentine's Day people that throw parties where they all wear black. It's Ronald Reagan Day. Also, it is Tu B'Shvat. Sorry if I mispronounced that wrong. It is a Hebrew holiday today. But I don't wait. Observe the 15th. Oh, okay. Of the Hebrew calendar. Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know what that one is. All right. We also have some fabulous birthdays coming up. I wonder whose it could be this year. Happy birthday to Susan, Michael, Mike. I believe Mike used to or is a listener. So happy birthday to Mike. We got Randy, Liz. Did those before. Okay, there we go. Jose. Oh, sweet Jose. Also, we've got Kevin and Sebastian. Jennifer, Larry Queen. Oh, that Larry Q. He was of the Trick Brain podcast and several others and plays WoW. And he made me a quilt. So fucking amazing. I
Oh
actually have
yeah,
it on
I've seen that.
actually you've seen it. It's the one behind the love scene on the
No,
wall.
I know what it is. Oh, that's
Beautiful.
what you're telling
Beautiful.
me.
We
Sorry.
got we got Faye and Richard, Deanna, uh, no, we don't.
Did you
Okay.
freeze that?
Koji. No, that's just sometimes there's businesses and then we got Koji and Stephen, Thomas, Guy, Jesus. I almost said Jesus. Jesus. Loza. We got Ong, and we got Mike and Justin and Robert. Robert's our friend who moved down to Texas years ago. So those we want you to all to have wonderful, wonderful birthdays and a wonderful shoe. And today's affirmation, we did that. We did birthdays. We did get a little feedback. Sean wrote in and said, regarding the advice column, who would stay in a bad marriage for an in-law? Get some friends already. I have to agree. I mean, I like being close to people, and liked by people, but sometimes you just have to.
Well, and when you're leaving a spouse that's cheated on you or treated you like shit, and just staying together for a mother-in-law that's fun to hang out with, um, it's a constant reminder of the that person.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Do you have some Chub hugs that you would like to send out?
Well, you mean past the people of
Hmm.
yeah, okay.
Well, you can
Besides,
name them too.
well, okay, okay,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry. I don't want to push.
Um,
I want to
let's
make it
see.
natural.
Oh God, trying to think now. You've made it so confusing.
I know. It's how I
Um,
roll. It's what I do.
it's because you like to interrupt and break people's concentration, because that's the kind of person you are. Oh
Yeah.
my God, look how defensive I got. Well, let's just go with Ukraine this time.
Okay. That is a good one to go with.
Oh, did you hear about the big earthquakes in Turkey?
No.
Yeah, Turkey and Syria, thousands of people dead.
Oh my gosh, really?
You gotta remember that in some of their little like hill cities, the
Mhm.
towns, it's a lot of stone, housing, and you get a major earthquake and that kind of a situation. I can't even imagine what it would be like. Well, I've seen what happened in like Haiti and places down in South America and Central America that have had earthquakes, and basically it's like they're living like the Flintstones,
Mm.
and it shakes enough that the it caves in basically.
That's really
You're
horrible.
attached to the ground. It's not a good thing. So hopefully, and I know they had a second earthquake, a second big one. So hopefully that will stop the fuck.
Mm. Well, I definitely need some chub hugs. And who else needs some chug hugs? Maybe Kathy Bacon, who's still healing.
That's true, and especially after my horrible comment about
Yes. Yeah, we don't want to relive that.
yes.
So, also, Charles Kimbrough died. I was very sad to hear about that.
Yeah.
Uh, I was comforted, however, from Scott Lowell. He played Ted on Queer as Folk.
Okay.
Teddy, the one
Yeah.
who, you know, uh, you do know the one that was Emmett's.
Well, I know who Teddy is. Yeah. What?
Yeah, yeah.
Why were
Anyway,
you comforted?
Scott Lowell on Twitter uh,
Okay.
posted about it, and I wrote and said how sad, and well, he comforted me. It was very sweet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a Charles Kimbrough story.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
all ears.
it was, I want to say 1979, but
Mhm.
I could have been 78. I don't know. It's right around there. I was in New York City with Jaina, and on our last day, there were still so many plays that we wanted to see. So we went to TKS and took the best seats that they had of the shows that wanted to see, and so we ended up seeing same time next year,
Cool.
front row seats. I'm not kidding. Front row seats, watching Charles Kimbrough and Betsy Palmer in same time next year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they got a standing ovation at the end of the show.
I imagine.
Yeah.
That's a
Even
kind of
if it was just
powerhouse.
Jana and I, we were impressed.
Yeah, yeah. But still, that's
So
really cool.
it was an excellent show, and it was so funny because that's pre Murphy Brown. It just goes to show you that you don't know the histories of these people that
Mhm.
you see on television. You go, wow, where did they come from? Well, they came from 20 years on Broadway,
Right,
and they
exactly.
finally got an opportunity to be in a West Wing or a Law and Order, and now they're some secondary character on a sitcom.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
working consistently, and they don't have to work 8 shows a week. Because it's so funny, because everyone loves Broadway until they get off it, and then it's like, oh, it's so nice not having to work 8 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's cool. I also actually for Chub Hugs, I forgot. I do want to send one out to Tom Goss, who is a singer and loves us Bears. He had his Facebook hacked, and his Facebook is monetized as well, so he had to deal with that. But he released a video talking about what are you doing?
I think there's a little hand, and I'm trying to put it in my mouth. See, you can't see the hand though. That's the thing.
I guess not. Are you sure the hands is really there?
Yeah, here, I'll wait. I'll wave it at you. See, it's waving now.
Yeah, nothing,
Okay.
nothing. Okay. Before we get him to the hospital, but Tom released a video talking about, how in the industry you're constantly getting ripped off, or stolen from, whether it be the industry that's doing it to you and you just have to kind of eat the cost, or um, whether it's the consumers who just assume that because you're an artist that you're rich, and that you don't need their money anyway. So he talked a little bit about that, and we commiserated because I told him about how one of my books was torrented before it was even released. So yeah. Anyway,
Did you tell them about the one that was they changed the title and made a movie out of it, and you
yeah,
got
I didn't
nothing
even
for it?
know about that one until just recently. So,
Oh, okay.
but if my movie's that good, that they have to that if my book is so good that Stewart, no, what's his name? I can't remember. Jim Parsons actually wanted to steal it and make a movie out of it, then that just validates me as an artist,
He didn't steal it. He bought it from a writer.
didn't he? Well, apparently he still thought it
That's
was
the claim.
that good. So anyway. All right, moving on. Birthdays, feedback, chub hugs. Now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Let's see. Okay, can't talk to you about that yet.
You can talk to me about RuPaul because I will probably no longer be watching it.
Okay, well, this week they did um Golden Girl groups, and that's
Oh,
what they took the 12 remaining girls, put them in teams of four. So there were three teams of four.
hmm.
And then what they did was they had to come up with they had three songs available to the three teams. One was country, one was metal, and one was hip hop. And then the girls would be adding their lyrics to this some parts of the song to give
Hmm.
them their own lyrics. And then they do their own choreography and dress themselves. So it's a big, I mean, these are not simple little routines. Putting together a dance number with costumes, makeup, choreography, and lyrics in like less than a day. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's the thing. People don't realize that the RuPaul's Drag Race thing is much harder than it looks, and that's why the people
Yes.
that come out of it really, really are talented.
Right.
You know,
Well, and your co-host on the other show where you were talking about this was saying how stupid it was that they were lip syncing to their own voices, and I had to laugh because since the dawn of music, music artists have had to go out there and lip sync to their own vocals on a recording because that's what they did. So, girl,
right? But she's
yeah.
just looking for another platform to bitch about. Um, let's go after the drag queens now that the GOP is. Why not us, right? Go ahead, Brian. Have a good time. Let's
She dresses as the washerwoman. So,
Yeah. Let's see, Anna Gaskar. She's the star of American Auto, which is back on NBC. And this is about a failing auto company. And
Hmm.
the thing is, it's failing because they make terrible cars,
Hmm.
which is a clever way of doing this. This isn't like they're like a little startup that's trying to make it happen. This is like they're a major player, and they keep, recalling the first episode of the new season. One of their cars, the brakes don't hold. The parking brake doesn't hold sometimes. And so they they have this shot of this car losing its braking and running along a rail, making all these scratches and starting a forest fire in Los Angeles. Oh no, I mean in Detroit. So it's like, well, actually, I guess the car could have been anywhere. But anyway, the car catches a big fire, and so they're blaming the car company for the fire starting, blah blah blah. And they're all like trying to find ways that they can come out of it smelling good. So these are really bad people ultimately when you look at it, but it is a pretty funny show because they're
Hmm.
a lot of good character actors, well written parts, and Anna Gaskar is just terrific.
Peacock keeps trying to push that down my throat, but I haven't succumbed yet.
Girl, you'll take it. You'll take it.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Then this week on Night Stalker, I had the spontaneous combustion
Combustion. Yep. There you go.
doppelganger fire starter. That was one episode.
A lot.
And the next episode was a guy who sold his soul to the devil to make it in politics because everything he had done so far, he had just, it's like, oh my God, you're the perfect person. We love you. And people who around him were dying who didn't agree with that. So Kolchak figured out he must be, paying the devil. And the guy who was the soon to be senator was Tom Skerritt from Aliens
Like
and
it's so
Turning Point, and here he was in
handsome. Fences.
1974 playing some dude that's trying to cheat the devil. Uh, I think so. It was kind of fun. Let's see. We'll be talking about that later. Um, okay, I don't care. Oh, okay. Last night on The Last of Us, this is episode 4. And by the
Uh,
way, those of you that have not heard yet, since the Super Bowl is next Sunday, HBO has decided to release the Last of Us new episode this week sometime.
oh wow.
So because they think that the Super Bowl is going to like really, fuck up their release date. And I'm like, well, see, girl, the thing about HBO is you can watch it anytime you want. Maybe HBO hasn't learned about what streaming is. Um, so yeah, so they're releasing it early so people can see it. But okay, last night I finally figured out why episode 3 was the romance between Bill and Frank.
Oh, okay.
Because at the end of the episode, Bill leaves um our heroes a truck so they can travel with the truck. And while they're in the truck traveling, the girl's in the back seat and she finds a men's men on men magazine.
Yeah.
And so because they know about Frank and Bill, there's not a lot of like, oh my God, why would he have this in his car? No, there wasn't a lot of that discussion. And that's why they had to have episode 3, so they didn't have weird thoughts in episode 4 when they find the porno magazine.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen on Twitter people drawing video or drawing cartoons and stuff of all that. So I guess it was like a big thing in the game or something because people are like obsessed over it.
Yeah, but the people who are obsessed over it are the people who want to see more of um God, I always forget his Nick Offerman naked.
Yeah, I
And
wouldn't mind, but
well, I mean, it's fine, but I wouldn't, it's not like I would, um, you know, get a divorce for it. Although he does have a lot of money,
yeah,
uh,
I'm just saying.
and I did learn one thing: always marry for money.
Well, that's kind of obvious.
And I just sent you something.
I see that. Hmm. What is it? Oh yeah. He's a
That's
very handsome man. I was kind of more into the other guy, but
oh
they're
yeah,
both beautiful men.
yeah, but at least the other guy you have a chance of sleeping with.
That's true. He does like the big boys.
Well, no, he likes men,
Yeah.
where Nick Offerman just likes Karen
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 Walker.
Karen Walker, and she likes her men gay. That must have been so strange during that whole time because she was such a phenomenon. Her character, really, I mean, it was
Mhm.
Karen. Um, I'm surprised they never tied Karen into the Karens. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah. No, they never did they?
Because there's only two real Karens I mean, if you think about it, there's not a lot of Karens out there. There's Karen Carpenter and there's Karen Walker.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Or maybe that's just our circle, but that's
Karen Allen.
Karen Allen. Yes, you're right.
That's another one. Although, well, poor Karen Allen. Yeah.
So, oh wait, it's still me, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, Poker Face, which is on Peacock, and it's Natasha Lyonne. You got to see it. It's a great, great show. It's just a really good show. I know you can't see it anymore, but really good show, especially for people who like things like the Green Onion and or the Glass Onion. I always
Oh
say
yeah.
the Grass Onion and Knives Out. And if you were a fan of things like Columbo, this is where, and in this case, again, they show you the murder,
Mm,
and basically, then she comes in and tells you why you're the murderer. Adam, she just happens to be there. She's not like Lieutenant Columbo, who's actually been sent over to investigate a death.
right.
She just happens to be there, and so far it's been just really a fun show.
Mm,
Um, let's see. We got down to episode 8 of Velma, and then I found it seemed like the ending. We'd gotten the Scooby Mobile. We had even though there is no Scooby, uh,
mm,
but we got the minivan. Let's call it that. We got the van. Well, it's not a minivan; it's a van.
okay.
Uh, and everyone's kind of taking their roles. And so I thought, okay, that's it. And we're waiting for next season. And I think, oh, okay. I look it up. There's 10 episodes, so I'm figuring we're probably going to get the last episodes are going to be prepping season 2,
Okay.
kind of closing that circle on because I mean, like this season was kind of the origin story of the Scooby Doo people.
Right.
So, and I'm sure at one point there's going to be some sort of dog that shows up. You, yeah.
Is it going to be Rappy Roo?
Oh no.
I hope not. I tell you, I hated that character so much.
Yeah, yeah. He's kind of like characters like um what's his name from Star Wars? Remember episode 1? Hello, I'm Ralph Star. I can't say the word, but I'm out here listening to steel drums, man. It's like oh,
Yeah.
or even Dobby when Dobby first started. You know, when we
Oh, yeah.
because no one liked Dobby when he showed up.
That's so weird. Well, yeah, because he was being mean and obstropulous, but then he became like the most beloved character. But whoever fell in love with Jar Jar Binks. Actually, I have known people that love Jar Jar Binks.
Well, I know people who cheer on Darth Vader, so that doesn't make it right.
Well, that's very true right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Trader finished Trader over on Peacock. Oh my God! See, I've been on Peacock. I still have 3 shows I'm running on Peacock, and I feel like we're going to be starting Yellowstone. Is it Yellowstone?
I
It's the Kevin Costner thing.
don't have any idea.
Okay. Anyway, I think we're going to be starting that too. So anyway, Trader ended up being really fun.
Hmm.
I won't give away who the winner was, but it's they take a lot of pseudo celebrities into a castle in Scotland and make them perform, goofy games to win money, and then they have three people who are traitors, and those traitors murder someone every night. So if they murder you, you're just out of the fucking game, whether or not you played a good game or not. It sucks.
Um,
But the game was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not a participant, so I don't give a shit.
yeah.
uh let's see. Finished Lockwood and Company over on Netflix. This is the teenage um uh paranormal investigators.
Mhm.
It did really well. I was hoping for a kind of like Poker Face, where you get a new single episode each time.
Mhm.
And but this one, where they kind of stretched two stories over the 8 episodes that they had, and which was good. And I'll know to expect that next time. But it was I just I love the new paranormal stories that they come up with.
Right.
It's like, oh shit, her father locked her in the basement because she was in love with a poor man, and he made sure that they were, and then she got pregnant, and then they killed the baby, that kind of stuff. All sorts
That,
of really horrible stories that happen in these British castles. But anyway, fun stuff. Over on Disney, and not Disney, Discovery Plus, Skinwalker Ranch, which I told you about. This is season 3, and this is about them trying to figure out what's going on in this area of Utah that has lots of UFO sightings. They've got all sorts of weird shit happening here, and it's kind of fun, and it's nice being around adults that have the same interests that I do.
mhm.
Oh, they're not around me, but it feels like
Yeah.
I've got a friend. Uh, let's see. Okay, this I think is hilarious. Okay, two TV shows um got renewed this week. One of them was the '90s show over on Netflix. It got picked up for another season, but next season they're asking for not 10, 16 episodes. So they had to be really happy with the response there. And
Just
then Night Court over on NBC got picked up for a second season, which you can also see in Peacock.
hmm.
But the show about making a reboot of a show called Reboot over on Hulu, which had superior writing, superior acting,
Uh-huh.
great potential, was canceled.
That that's really sad because honestly, Night Court, as much as I want to like it, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but
Yeah.
Reboot was
Okay.
really good and it deserved a second season.
I agree. So, and then not finally, but as far as the paranormal shows go, I mentioned this yesterday on another podcast. As far as these paranormal series on
Mhm.
network shows, Kindred Spirits is by far the best one, and it's Adam and Amy, and they're actually veterans of Ghost Hunters. And once Ghost Hunters kind of stopped, they started their own show called Kindred Spirits. What I like about them is they tend not to go to the prisons or the old closed hospitals, or they're not hanging out in a graveyard. They're going to people's houses that are having problems, and they go in there. And usually, I think only a couple times have I ever seen them go, we don't know what's causing this, or if we might know what's causing it, but we don't know how to correct it. But otherwise they leave by, they bring in a shaman, they find out that it was this person, and they tell the homeowners that if you just accept them, they're not going to give you a problem. And it's always, they fix the problems, which is really satisfying, because I mean, Ghostbusters come in there and go, they leave at the end of the day going, this place is fucked up. I'm never coming back here again. I can't believe you people work here. Ha ha ha. They leave. And it's like, I mean, their show's very entertaining because
Yeah,
it's, high drama. But if you're doing a show about trying to help people, wouldn't it be nice if you helped people?
right.
Okay. I did start Physical 100, which is the
Yes.
South Korean reality show where they
Mhm.
bring in 100 hot uh, athletes. I mean,
Yes.
everybody's an Adonis.
Yeah.
They actually they have the upper torso, a cast of every one of the entrants. So when they come in at the very beginning of the show, they say, "Find your body," and they go over there and they go, "Oh yeah, this is me," and they're like, I mean, it's just if you like skinny hot people, this would be a really good show to watch for people, because they've got
Any.
men and women,
Uh-huh.
and and they are, I mean, but it's too much, like, what it reminds me of is it's just too fucking macho for me.
Oh. See,
I'm
I
on episode 4 and they've only played 2 games
right. Yeah, that was kind of annoying to me. But I really liked it. It's it's too slow, so I actually have to speed it up just a little bit.
because
But
it slows you when you're jacking off.
yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
Well,
But
come on. I
I
mean, what
like
else is there to do during this? It's not particularly exciting.
I okay, one thing that irritates me about it is the editing when they'll show the same clip from three different directions and the same tacky voiceover like through the whole thing because the the female, especially the female voiceovers, tend to try to put in the accent, like the that little the kind of Asian heavy accent speaking American, and it comes off as cheesy. Towards most of the male people that are doing the accents just speak. I mean, not they're not doing the accents. They're just speaking, doing the voiceover.
Okay.
Anyway, but they'll just edit it from the three different directions, and you'll hear, "Oh my stars," and then "Oh my stars," just over and over. Anyway, I still think it's fun. I think it's a fun show. There's body types for everybody except for if you're into really chubby guys, which is why you're here. But they've even got some bearish types. Uh,
Well, and but if they do have some chubby guys, but
yeah,
they're
but they're muscle chub.
it's not even their muscle shoves, they're bald. Every there's not a hair on any of these people anywhere except the top of their head.
Well, that's yeah. But
Oh
I
yeah, oh,
I
you know what
still
was
think it's
gross? My favorite scene, but the scene that made me go ugh, was when they showed them the wall of supplements and they all acted like they had just walked into the fucking Louvre.
I know, right?
Oh
Oh,
my
but
God. I
oh,
love
we're
this.
gonna
I
start
love this.
here.
This is my favorite, protein shake. Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh, we all got to go to heaven.
You need a fucking life, people.
But yeah, I think that it would be be better if it were better edited.
Well, I think if it was edited for Americans,
Okay, I could see that.
I
I
think
don't
I think
I
it would
don't
be
know.
different. And I'm not saying it's good or bad as far as the editing, but I think that they should have re-edited it for an American audience if that's who they were going after, past the South Korean audience.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I could see
this was
that.
like the Squid Games. This was a show made for Korean,
Hmm.
Netflix, and believe me, if the shows kick or hit, like, the some of the past shows that they've had, like Lock and Key, those things get dubbed really fast and thrown into other countries.
Right.
But I mean, the market that everybody seems to want to get to is America. I know that from listening to my podcasting, not podcasting, my paranormal video people.
Okay.
They're all looking for the American dollar.
Hmm.
If there's if you can call it an American dollar, but the American approval, maybe.
Hmm.
So anyway, moving on. I only watched one movie last week, and it was Wakanda Forever,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize the name was actually the running time of the movie.
Oh, it was a very long movie. Even in the theater, we were sitting there going, "Is it still going?" But
243. How many times are we going to restart this? Okay, we all of a sudden the king is dead, so we got to have a 20-minute funeral. No, we don't. We don't have to have that. Um,
oh,
then we've got one just the storylines were ridiculous. It was
I
just
thought they did a really good job on. I thought they did a really good job of honoring uh the
Chadman,
who
which
died.
is fine. That's fine, but you don't have to do a full sequence. I was just the whole time they're doing the funeral sequence, all I can think about is that they're all wearing white clothes and they're dancing around on clay ground, the ground that's clay. And we know from Northern California that that is a bright orange colored um, mud that it creates. And they're running around in white with orange clay under on their shoes and stuff, and nothing ever gets dirty. That really
What's the
irritated me
movie?
right from the beginning. And then the storyline I thought was, what they so they had to bring in like Indian people to be the bad guys. Was that what it was?
I don't know. I
And then
wasn't super impressed with the
yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of lost track of what was going on because I
yeah.
didn't care.
Well, and
Um,
I think that I can't argue against that. I mean, I want to say it was wonderful, but after watching the first one and it being so good, this one you have his sister taking over, which is wonderful. It was a great casting choice. You have a phenomenal fucking cast, and it just lost it. Halfway through, you're just like, what? Wait, what's going on again?
yeah.
Ah,
So I mean, nothing against um
the cast.
the queen, Angela Bassett. She's
Oh, she played her part.
and completely deserving of her Oscar nomination.
Damn right.
But yeah, I would the movie itself was just a bore for me, and I feel bad about it, but it was.
Yeah.
Okay, now what shows did we see together?
Well, let's see. So Night Court. Yeah, Night Court. This is the episode 4 where Dan's date was guest starring Wendy Malick from Hot in Cleveland and 150 shows where we love her from. Um, and I felt bad because this is the episode where I felt the writing actually regressed. It wasn't as good as the first three.
Oh, you thought the first three were good writing?
I I didn't say that. I just said
Oh,
I thought
okay.
this one was worse.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to love this show. I want to love this show because I love the first one. But the first one, for all its quirkiness and silliness, it had good writing and good direction. And this is just too cutesy. And the first one was funny. It wasn't cutesy.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I don't know what you think about it.
Well, I think that the show itself is kind of, you know, bottom of the barrel kind of
Yeah,
comedy. I mean, the
yeah.
whole thing it's a lot of sight gags, it's a lot of obvious,
Hmm.
easy. I mean, um okay, what was I watching yesterday? It was the 790 show,
Okay.
which that's okay.
Yeah.
Uh, is it on our list? No.
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay, the 90 show. I was watching it and the kids were uh, plotting. I think they were it was the one where they're plotting to go to a rave.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. And the rave, of course, was ridiculous and embarrassing to call it a
That
rave.
is no rave. Yeah.
Yeah. But what all of a sudden I turned to Sean, I go, oh my God, this is written like all those Disney series. The
Uh,
kids are written like they're in a Disney series, like
yeah.
The Sweet Life or like the Wizards of Wizard
Waverly Place.
That one,
Yeah,
any of those where the kids are talking, the dialogue sounded just like those shows. And believe me, I've watched quite a few of them, even though I might not remember their names.
right.
But I've watched quite a few of them. And then when you get to the adults, it's like
Totally different
you got
series.
totally different directors. I
Yeah.
mean, writers. So it's weird. But
It is like you have older people who are the age of the writers or the age of the actors who can write for them and write well, and but they have no fucking idea how to write for kids.
well, I think honestly, I think these are people who used to write for Sweet Like Life of Zach and Cody, and
Okay.
they said, okay, go and do. They don't know how to write for the regular actors, the adult actors, and they're happy about it because they probably think that the kids' writing is great.
And it's so not. It is the so baseline pedestrian, like bottom of the barrel writing, and it's the same for Night Court. These are cheap shots. These are like, hey, you know what? We've got an hour and we need a series. Grab a couple people and sit down and write something out, or an episode, I should say. But yeah,
I think they're
it's
getting
so
like sixth graders in there to write the episodes.
yeah. I
Hey,
don't.
that rave thing, that rave, I've been to high school dances that looked more like a rave than that
I,
was.
I was embarrassed if people really think that's what a rave looked
Oh
like.
my God. Yeah.
Gosh.
If you want to see a rave, you need to go find Queer as Folk season one,
Oh
Showtime,
yes.
and you'll find out what a rave is.
Uh-huh. And who's gonna bring? Oh, do you have your baby blankets or whatever? Like what? Anyway, so yeah, the 90s show, a total dichotomy in the writing. I am glad it's renewed. But I just hope that they figure out what to do with the kids to make them not so
I hope when they do
9-year-old.
the takeoff on Saturday Night Live that they don't put Bowen Yang in as the Gaysian kid from the 90s show.
I okay.
I just hope they don't do it.
It's like one of
Although
the
although he would be really funny in it,
mm,
it's totally funny for the wrong reasons.
yeah.
He'd have to completely change the reason why that's funny because I feel so bad for this kid, the kid playing the kid.
The Gasian kid.
Yeah, the Gaysian kid.
Oh, he was the only one that had like even the smallest bit of actual funny lines.
Yeah, because the same people that wrote Sweet Life never had to deal with a gay character. So they have to
That's
be
true.
creative for a gay character because they don't know how to write for one.
Yeah.
So like the adults, they make more sense.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they could just have two different groups of writers, sixth graders and adults.
Oh, yeah. Uh, all right. And then we watched The Bachelor episode 2. This is Zach's season, and it opened with oh my God, a performer who I had no clue who she was, but all of them sure did. And she's there to teach them how to be a bad bitch to win Zach over. He doesn't seem to be a bad bitch type, but uh, and then the whole like she threw so they brought 3 contestants who were bad bitches back, and one of
Right.
them decided to throw herself at him unsuccessfully
Or
and badly. I mean, she was like, she's with him and she's like kind of crying. She's all like, I just want to find my person. And by the way, this is the catchphrase of like everything right now. It's not, I want to find a husband, I want to find a wife. I want to find my person, my person. Like, I'm so tired of hearing that. Um, but who cares? Anyway, but she gets so upset and so vulnerable with him, and then she goes around the other women and she acts like a total ass to them.
bad bitch.
Well, I guess since they used it on the show, we can use it. I'm starting to try to get away from that word, but yes, she acted like a total, not even a bad bitch, just a badly done bitch. So, womp. And then the other dates, he seemed to really connect with what's her name? Barbara Mandrell's daughter. I can't remember her name. And until it gets to a smaller group, I can't remember hardly any of their names. Although
Yeah,
there's one named Bailey that I think he might be a good match for him.
she's the blonde girl that tried to get him drunk. No, that was Cat.
Yeah, that was Cat. But
Because
there was one. Yeah,
Bailey was in the first group.
she's
Uh,
more kind of
on,
subdued and more kind of you know. Anyway, but
I was surprised he kept Brit Brittany, Bethany, the one that America had picked for him.
I think he kept her because he felt like either he or the producers, whoever, probably felt like if they kicked her off now after her making a total idiot of herself, that it might look bad. So I think he kept her just to keep her for that. But yeah, she put her foot in it this time too. Sadsies, because I really liked her. I was glad that she got America's Rose, but now I'm kind of questioning it. Anyway,
Well,
so we'll
yeah, I
see.
mean, but it still comes down for me. I agree with you at this situation. It just comes down to um, I don't know these people enough to care.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's why when they're all crying and they're all like starting to get jealous of him and stuff like that, I'm like, y'all haven't even like been alone with him one on one and you're jealous of him? Come on. So, all right. We talked about Physical 100. How I Met Your Father, season two. Sophie is telling her son that she once used to be a liar and not even a good liar because this was just another bad, badly written episode. I mean, seriously badly written. Oh, and then the best friend is supposed to forgive the girlfriend after all the horrible things that she did to him or whatever. I'm just looking at the lead character and the his best friend. Well, actually, all three guys on here. They're yummy, but the whole cast is just wasted on the writing. So,
Yeah, I didn't see this episode yet because I really
oh,
kind of
I
don't care.
trust me, there were no spoilers. I mean,
Well,
honestly. Okay, and then I finished up Willow. So, let's see. Apparently, Laura Dannon, as her hair has started to change from blonde to red. Interesting. And then
it's a
lesbian.
curse.
Well, her hair was red in when she was a baby. That was one of the things, and now her hair is changing to red again. So that's interesting. But then the lesbian love blossoms, and this is and which is really the only thing that was interesting about the princess character, including at the end when she gave her pep talk and started to like Alora Dannon. Like it was just so kind of pedestrian, like whatever.
Right.
And then let's see. Amar, I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm so sorry. Amar Chada Patel, who is the older guy with the beard and the long hair and everything. And when he is shirtless, he is so freaking hot. Oh my gosh, I had no idea he was that hot.
Me either.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love his character. He was in Jack Ryan too, this season, and he's just a delicious man. Anyway, the dialogue writing in the last few episodes was not very good, and they kept trying to like use some catchphrasing that didn't make sense. Like, okay, who brought the butter? The what? Anyway, um, and then they used Money for Nothing as the closing song, but at least had the decency to take the lyrics out that use the word faggots in it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, especially since they had a lesbian kiss. Anyway, and then let's see what else I have to say about that. And then they made the princess finally a little bit more interesting at the end, but the prince was still completely boring.
Well, he had gotten three
Uh,
episodes, and
Mind wiped. At least they cut that mess of a hair off.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I am interested to see a second. I thought Willow was wonderful in it. But the writing was really inconsistent. And the thing that your brother was complaining about, how the younger characters had more modern words,
Yeah.
really, I think toward the end when they were starting to fight, did more of a disservice to it. So anyway, anything you want to add on Willow?
No.
Okay. Are you looking forward to another season of it?
Sure.
Okay. Um, I watched the Spring Baking Championship season 8, hosted by Molly Ye, and she is a American cookbook author and blogger, and she annoys me so much on this show.
Yeah, me too.
I would probably like her on other stuff, I guess, but she just acts so cutesy. You know, when those hosts, they just act so cutesy, and oh my gosh, it's a little butterfly. Oh, I love it. She just so annoying on it. I don't know. Ugh. But I think it's funny that on this season, like almost all the guys are gay. There may be one that isn't, but all the rest of them, even the ones that they brought in for this prize thing, they're all they're all gay. And one came out as a drag queen, and then the Asian guy actually came out to his parents on the show. So I love that.
There you go.
All right. Watched Young Sheldon. Had a little marathon of that. That was really fun. It's such a good show. I really tell you that you need to watch it.
I have, and I don't think it's a really good show.
I just don't understand you.
It's
All
just
right.
funny.
It's okay if it doesn't connect to you, it doesn't connect, but I would have thought you would have thought it was really great. Anyway, Call Me Kat. It's Max's birthday, and they go on a couples trip through the Smoky Mountains, and Gideon decides that he's going to come in tow.
Why did the car break down?
I don't know, but the writing actually was fairly decent and funny, except for Gideon's character. I just I want this character to go back to the woods after this season. Anyway, Jack Ryan season 3. I watched the whole thing and I actually liked this season. I thought they did a decent job with it. Um, yeah, it was fun. And then Great British Baking Show, The Professionals, episode 1. Have you watched any of this?
No, I've been waiting to start it.
Okay, so I will move it over to the mutuals and you tell me when you start it and I'll continue watching it.
Pushy.
I
Go ahead.
don't know.
Okay.
And with that, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told we're too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. Now it's time for a little bit of advice. And this, of course, comes from Dear Prudie, slate.com. Go check them out. My mind is still reeling. My fiance confessed to me last week that his younger niece is actually his child. He had a short affair with his brother's wife, who conceived the month her husband was away. They ended things before finding out she was pregnant, and she lied about the dates to cover it up. My fiance knew all this and has said nothing because he didn't want to break up their family. My fiance's brother is a good guy, and I genuinely like him. I've never seen a man so devoted to his wife and children. I don't know if I can spend the rest of my life being part of this lie. My future in-laws are a close-knit family and everyone frequently gets together. They actually had a family dinner a few days ago, which I avoided because I don't know how I can look at either my fiance's brother or wife in the eye. I also have complex feelings about the niece. Biologically speaking, she will be my stepchild. I love my fiance so much, but how can I marry into this family, knowing what I know now. Oh my gosh, girl,
Yeah,
don't marry,
just you
save
need
them.
to go away. You need to go away, and then your fiance, I need to sit down with you and tell you why you don't tell people this, even if you're
Uh-huh.
going to marry them. You just keep it to yourself
Right.
and shut the fuck up, or remember, the only secret ever kept was one that was never told.
Hmm. I don't think I
Once
know
you
that.
start telling other people, okay, your fiance may not talk to your brother or sister about this, but she may tell her siblings about it, and
Uh-huh.
then they'll tell somebody, and sooner or later it's on Law and fucking Order, and you figured out that it's you that they're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
you can't, first of all, I actually go to her fiance, and say, it's time for you to dump this woman because you told her what you should not have mentioned.
Uh-huh.
And if she hangs around, we're going to hear about this the rest of our lives. Get
Yep.
rid of her now.
Yep. Exactly. So anyway, that's our advice. Uh, Dear Prudy said, I'm generally in favor of the truth, but with caveats. In this case, there's nothing to be gained by the truth blasting apart this family. And I hope that you are only the third person to be let into the circle on this secret, and that you remain the final one. As despicable as it is that your fiance's behavior was, it does speak to his love for you and his desire to have an honest start with that he told you. You do not have to make any decisions now. You should be honest with your fiance and tell him that this news is going to take you a while to process, but please fight the complex feelings about your niece. Morally, legally, and every other way, she is the child of your future brother in law and sister in law. And if you go ahead and marry your fiance, you should be able to look on this girl with love and equanimity. Equanimity, like a horse. Anyway, yeah, it's none of uh, stop, girl. You can't handle it. If you're gonna blurt it out while you're drunk at a Christmas family dinner, just leave. All right. So I want to add a little segment called Modern Etiquette. But I think we're running a little long, so we'll go ahead and add that next time. And in the meantime,
Thank
hey,
God, I
Chuck.
do not want to be, have certain listeners comment about finding out that a latest episode was too long, like this weekend. You read that?
Oh, about Mr. Moose complaining about a 3 hour long episode.
Yeah, and I didn't think that Seder was still recording, but I guess it happens.
Yeah. Well, I get it. When an episode is like an hour and a half or something, I'm like, well, I really love them. I'm gonna listen anyway. But when it's a 3 hour long episode, I can kind of see that that's a bit much.
Yeah, I remember one time we were driving back from San Diego, and
Mm.
we started a Joe Rogan interview, and I want to say it with Tom Papa, and when we stopped to get food at In and Out right there at by the big pass. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm.
Um, which had been probably 4 hours. The podcast finally ended.
Mm. Wow.
4 fucking hours. It was ridiculous. And then he started another one that ran 4 hours. I listened to two podcasts in 8 hours.
I could not freaking listen to Joe Rogan for
Well, no,
can't listen to him for 8 minutes.
yeah, he was. It was okay for a while, but now it's gotten to the point of where, it's like, okay, I don't know. It's like he's trying to bait the liberals constantly,
Yep.
and I don't understand why he do that, because I think that's quite a bit of his audience. But okay.
All right. Well,
But I'll tell you, when Sean comes home and quotes Joe Rogan, I call him on the fucking carpet, and we don't have carpet, girl.
that's good. Yeah. No, you better not quote Joe Rogan on anything. Hey, Chubs, what do you consider a red flag in a relationship?
Um,
Joe Rogan.
Well, I for me it is I don't like cruelty.
Hmm.
Um, I don't like hitting.
Yeah,
I mean those the things. If you're going to be mean to me, that's a problem right there.
right.
You know, and I mean, don't believe me. I have like I have judged people in and out of relationship, whether I was in a relationship with them or not. If somebody is rude to a waitress or waiter,
Uh-huh. Yep.
oh, they are immediately lined out of the next guest list. You know, they're
Yeah.
off. They're out of here. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
That's mine. Two things are if you're mean to or hate animals, and if you treat wait staff or people that are like trying to help you out in retail like shit.
Or even a nurse.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, especially nurse.
somebody that's trying to help you and
Mhm.
you shit on them. It is time to spit in your food. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, those are two big red flags because if you treat the people that are quote unquote, and I use this as, in quotes, below you, which just means they're, paid to help you.
Well, yeah,
Shit, fuck
they're in a
you.
they're in a different class level than you, or you find
Or at least at that
of
moment, like a
of
nurse.
crediting them in a certain class.
Yeah, yeah.
That's usually a good indication. I know my dad's new wife, when well, it wasn't the first time I met her, but we had gone out to dinner at, I think it was Red Lobster. You know, I mean, we're not
Mm.
talking a shining star of, you know, waiting service staffs, but um, she just, I just remember it's like, she asked, okay, do you have any Maine lobster? And they're going, oh no, we don't have anything from the East Coast. We only have West Coast seafood. Uh, Forget it. Come back later. I'm not ready then.
Ah,
And
yeah.
it's like, I'm glad you took it out on her that the company does not fish on the East Coast for their West Coast restaurants. Fuck you. And it was like the whole time I was biting my tongue during the rest of the dinner because we hadn't even ordered yet, technically.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was pissed. Go ahead.
Nope. It's same. I can't stand it when people treat people like that badly. Okay. Unless they absolutely fucking deserve it for some reason, but come on. Usually they're working for their tips. They're not gonna be deliberately an asshole. All right. Hey Chubs, what is your love language?
What does that even
Uh,
mean?
for those of you who are not on the video feed, Tom is giving me a look like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, I just asked. What does that mean?
Oh, it's supposed to be like some people. My love language is telling me that you love me, like reinforcing it verbally. Or another person is my love language is touch, so I like to be held or touched a lot. And apparently, you got a hickey. Is that what that is?
No, I have no hickey.
Oh, okay, just checking.
No, I guess
Or
then my love language would be food, weed,
ah,
and booze.
you stole mine. I was gonna
What,
say
food,
my
weed,
love
and booze?
language would be food. Like, well, actually, my love language would be uh people who or somebody who either gives me something or does something for me or
It's all, as long as they
stop
okay.
or sorry, I didn't mean to sound like that. Um, but if I have to get it out, or who like will just like send me a text or a message or something through the day
That
that
you will not
is like,
answer.
well, probably, but like I'm thinking of you.
I know.
I love you, or I found this thing and I thought of you, so I got it for you. That type of thing. That is my love language. It just that somebody's thinking of me when they don't have to think of me.
Um, See, I guess then mine would be song,
Oh yeah, that's cool.
because for me, I hear, if I hear a certain song, even if I've never heard the song before, sometimes I'll hear a song for the first time and it'll immediately make me think of someone or
Mhm.
some time period, and I'll just, feel all, tingly inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Christmas time, when you walk into a room that's just twinkling with Christmas.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And oh boy, if they could only figure out how to make, like, you know, they need to have like a easy bake oven that automatically makes chocolate chip cookies. So you would just have this constant
Oh.
making of cookies when you're walking into this twinkling Christmas place. And it just feels like, oh my God, this is it. This is heaven. I made it.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool. I
That's
like
good
that.
luck on that happening. But yeah.
Right, but still, that's pretty. But when you're talking about food being a love language, I think that is for me too, especially, like when somebody shares their food and they don't need to. I'm fat. All right. Let's talk about food though. What's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Michael Sage wrote in and he said, lick my ball. No, anyway. Uh, vegan meatballs, chickpea pasta, low sodium marinara, sprinkled with fresh grated Parmesan. And
So
that,
he's just vegetarian.
yes, yeah, yeah. I'm as long as it's not kale. I mean, I can get along with the rest
Next page.
of that. Next page is meatloaf, which of course is made with fake meat. Kale, cranberry, apple salad, and a baked tater. Huh. Okay. As
Yeah,
long as there's no kale.
there is kale.
No, I don't want to see it. La 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 la.
Meatloaf, kale, cranberry, apple salad.
Kale is like
Kale.
the most disgusting. All right.
And,
Uh,
I think my biggest problem with kale is it just takes so long to chew it up.
for me, it's the taste of it I don't like. Although I did have some like dried seasoned kale, and it was not horrific.
Please,
Uh,
please tell me what the next thing is. I didn't read the description, and my mind is reeling looking at it.
okay, so hubby made some homemade gumbo with chicken,
Okay,
ja-
okay,
jalapeno sausage, and beef sausage. It's my
okay.
boss's recipe, and it's wonderful. Today is the third day and fifth meal I've had from it. And we froze two thirds of a giant pot, and the recipe feeds 25 to 30 people. Wow. Those are some
Uh,
big sausages.
yeah, at first I didn't know what it was, but now that I know what it is, I want it. But
Yes.
before, when I didn't know what it was, I was
Don't.
like,
Yeah,
oh
don't.
my God, this is like out of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's chicken and sausage.
Now I
Woohoo!
want it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a particularly an eye appealing thing, but boy, is there any rice under that? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I'll get
that
rice.
would
I'll
be
get
good.
rice.
That would be a good
Yeah,
additive.
little soak
So,
it up stuff.
and that of course comes from Phoenix Dave. Thank you
Phoenix
so
Dave.
much, Dave. Next up we have from Mr. Moose, and we have some eclectic photos here, including house special lo mein and shrimp, pork, and chicken. Yummy.
Yum.
Very yummy. Shrimp tacos,
Oh,
beautifully done.
lovely.
We have some had
Well,
new appetizer at a Chinese restaurant today. Meat rolls, ground pork seasoned and toasted sesame oil, ginger, garlic, wrapped in spring roll wrapper with and deep fried. Actually, very good. Going to buy some for our next party. They look amazing. I love those. I love
well, they look more like lumpia.
which I made today. Well, I bought and fried and
Okay.
heated up, not in an oil though, but in a low heated brown butter. Oh my God, it was so good. And then finally, we have giant peanut butter cookies. Giant because they spread more than I thought they would.
I
Girl,
thought they
they
I
spread
thought they were
more
like
than our
chicken
friends.
patties.
Oh, you thought they were chicken patties?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely see that. They also could look like kind of flattened buns. But no, they are giant cookies that spread more than Tom's legs at a bear event. Oh, anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Moose and Dave and Michael. A reminder, Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. And find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjed.com. Find more of my books at justkisstheguy.com. Find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubs gone wild. And give us a call at
40869 Chubs.
and make sure you watch the video special at the end where Tom does his version of masking. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.